This Coach of the Year and Protector of the Year edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and get a free Refs or Terrorists t-shirt. Claim your shirt at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs.
This is Randy Cross. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Cram?
Dog. NFL season official yet? Can we start calling it NFL season?
Well, we got mandatory OTA, so you know that means we got mandatory NFL episodes. Joining us in studio from the Bottom Line Bombs podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, CJ Sullivan, aka the man in the box. What's happening, CJ?
The mandatory in the box. I thought you were going to go in there. I thought that's where you're going with it. Nothing great. Another NFL show. Got the NFL Trapper Keeper, and I want to start off with thanking you guys. Hold on.
Oh wow!
Let me open up the briefcase.
Oh, great, great. Yeah. Careful, CJ. We're gonna turn into an ASRM channel. Yeah. And this is just a little NFL future that.
I got right to the ticket pouch part. Of course, I had the $20 20 million parlay in there. I have an account credit, and I also have Tennessee Titan 2024 cars that were purchased by
gambled.
You two, yours truly gambled. So I now
Riverboat gambled.
I now join you as a prospector.
Yes, and Kramer, I don't know. Do you remember that? It was on the SNL Best of Will Ferrell. I don't think it ever made air, but the Gus Chiggins sketches. Yeah, Kramer and I think next time we do a pack break, as we're embracing prospector life as card junkies, is to dress up as Gus Chiggins, which was just an all-time sketch by Will Ferrell.
Like Michael Jordan flying through the air. It was him and like Carl Malone. So I'll open it slowly. It's already kind of revealed.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Ryan already told me since you could see the faces, that means it's worth nothing already. But I won't do anything. But I saw clips of your guys' show. It seemed very exciting.
Oh yeah,
Joey Burrito.
Yeah, doing the pack breaks, and we're working on locking in a time for the next pack break. Should be a lot of fun, but we're here talking NFL. Oh, Kramer, you pulled up the Gus Chiggins.
Oh, I thought I had it up. Sorry, hold on. Okay, I do have it up.
Oh, the prospect of Gus Chiggins. Yeah, that's right. I was thinking of the guy who's selling cards. Him and Catan did one time when they were selling the sports memorabilia.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan's flying through these flying.
This has to be the character we go with.
Well, we have to pull that viral.
I see what you're saying. Okay,
the viral video.
Remember that Chiggins? This kid is hilarious.
Yes, I wouldn't be scared of rattlesnakes. I'd be scared of my ex-wife. And it's all about like the army going to Taliban, and so they hired a local who really knows the area, and it's Gus Chiggins because he's like a cave expert.
Hilarious.
That's funny.
This is an unconventional war, so we're turning to unconventional methods. Good times as always. We got a lot to get to. We got Coach of the Year and then Protector, the new first ever year Protector of the Year. Of course, everyone download the SGPN app. Get you covered for all the picks, podcasts, all one convenient place. I'm rocking the new SGPN DGens t-shirts.
Very nice, Sean.
Very comfortable. Great shirts. Shout out to Jake in the merch store. And if you're one of the top tier Patreon, we are close to shipping the special reward, which is a summer pack. You get some sweet shorts and a tank top.
You know how I know it's fire? I threw it on in front of my kids, and they both said "ick."
Ick?
Yeah, like so that must.
So that's
that
bad
means
though,
right? No, as their dad, if I'm looking fire, they don't like it. So I must have been looking fire. What did you get anything in the pack, CJ?
Not the foreshadowing, but I think
potential protector of the year, JC
Latham. 4
Latham.
cards, JC Latham, protector of the year possibility.
Nice.
I mean, he's possible franchise tackle
Nice.
up top. And then right behind it, a nice little receiver room. We have Calvin Ridley, Nuke, DeAndre Hopkins, and Treylon Burks.
Oh, Treylon Burks.
I mean,
funny.
that's a nice trio. So, Titans ran out there. How did Will Levis not lead the league in passing yards?
Before we get to the awards, we should warn people that Cam Ward's teammate, Xavier Restrepo, who was signed as a free agent, is lighting up mini camps. So if you're in the fantasy streets already, late round stack. Anyway, nice work with the JC Latham.
Thank you very much. That's when you told me about Titans. I got very excited for the JC Latham. I almost came over here earlier. Xavier undrafted free agent, right? Didn't someone predict him to go like second, like the best?
I think a lot of people thought he would be drafted.
But then he ran like a 5.3 or something crazy.
Slow in underwear.
I like it.
It is weird how they do say it's like pretty correlated. It doesn't make sense, but
what speed?
Well, no, that 40-yard dash time an offensive lineman would matter because they're never actually running 40 yards.
I see what you're saying. No, we were talking the receiver.
Oh, okay.
Or you were talking.
I was talking receiver. No, Xavier for sure.
Yeah, no, I think in general.
No, Latham was drafted top 5, right?
Yeah. I thought you were talking about Latham.
I think speed. The reason speed is generally a good trait to measure is it's like basic quickness, athleticism.
They're more quick than fast. Your lad McConkey isn't fast.
I know,
quick.
but the problem you end up with, like with these extreme outliers, Wan'Dale Robinson on the what are you trying to do, Sean?
I'm trying to pull up how do I add a image to the
all right, we're gonna do this live on
sure,
see the plus.
Yeah.
Yep, click the plus. Click image.
Okay.
And now select your image.
Okay.
All right.
But then does it show it uploading? That looks kind of weird.
That is weird. Why is it doing that?
Yeah. All right. That is leading ahead towards the coach of the year. I worked up a little sheet here. And these are all the past 10 winners of the NFL coach of the year. And then the number next to them is how many the plus, obviously the plus, like Sir Kevin O'Connell +7, meaning he won 7 more games than the previous. So 2024 Kevin O'Connell +7, Stefanski +4, Brian Dable +5, Mike Vrabel +1, kind of the outlier there in 2021. Kevin Stefanski 2020 at +5, 2019 John Harbaugh +4, Matt Nagy +7 in 2018, Sean McVay +7 in 2017, Jason Garrett +9 in 2016, Ron Rivera +8 in 2015, which is crazy. The thing that jumped out at me, 3 of the last 5 years it's been won by Kevin. So 60% chance if you just want to ride the Kevin trend. But the other thing is there's a couple really bad coaches on this list. Matt Nagy, Jason Garrett, Ron Rivera, 2-time winner. Maybe he's not a bad head coach. I don't know. Certainly washed coaches on this list. Dable, I guess that's still up for grabs here. Vrabel coming back, but just interesting. And to me, that's how you look at this award. Now there's certainly outliers like the Vrabel thing, but for the most part, you have to win at least 4 games more than the previous year.
Did you happen to tally how many of these teams didn't make the playoffs, or did they all make the playoffs?
I'm almost positive all of them made the playoffs.
Also, Jake's in trouble. We might not need his graphic services anymore.
Why? Oh, because of
you see this? Yeah, I would say that. It's a single year award, right? Like that's the ridiculousness of like Belichick and like the actual good coaches in the league are not really in the running for this award. That's the irony. Building a great program takes you out of the running generally to win this award.
Yeah. Now, and because you can't exceed expectations, it's just all about, and that's why a lot of times new head coaches are kind of interesting because it means they're taking over for oftentimes a bad win-loss. Matt Nagy, great example, right? Like taking over for a bad organization, bad team, and you get them to respectable. Yeah, I think you have to make the playoffs. I don't think you can win this award without making the playoffs, because especially with now 7 teams in the playoffs, I think you're immediately thrown out of consideration.
What's the path if you miss? Is there a possibility that you can win it? and miss the playoffs? Like, what would it take?
It would take like 9-8, and you lose a tiebreaker.
Yeah,
right.
I agree with you. I think
so. If Brian Callahan takes the Tennessee Titans, Cam Ward has a really good season. They get to 9-8, and somehow they have like a tiebreaker. Where they don't get into that 7th wild card spot, then maybe I think that's kind of what you look at. But Kramer, walk us through.
Quick update to that. NFL Coaches of the Year winners who have led their teams to winning seasons but missed the playoffs.
Oh, nice.
We have to go back to Lindy Infante, 1989 Packers. John Harbaugh, 2019 Baltimore Ravens apparently missed the playoffs.
Really?
You have to look that one up. And Marty Schottenheimer of your 2004 Chargers. He's a unique case because he won Coach of the Year after leading a team that went from 4-12 to 12-4, but failed to pass the Defensive Conference Championship in the playoffs.
Now, wait, the 2019 Ravens were 14-2, and won the AFC North. So is that AI coming for us?
Possibly.
AI doesn't
it's
like
AI overview.
History.
Right. Yeah. I was just gonna say in that sentence it said the Chiefs just went 12 and went to the conference championship game.
The AI, they keep trying to make your life easier, but they haven't made any of the sports research I do or research for the show. I have not found AI to be helpful yet. I know you're a big advocate of AI.
I'm not a advocate. Like my take is that most people's entry point to AI, if it's not ChatGPT, is Gemini, Google's product,
which is the worst.
Google's it's bad in a way that doesn't make sense. You would think they would have the most training materials, having cornered the market on the fucking internet.
I thought I was just Googling. And
and Google used to do the thing where they would preview the page, but now it's AI and it's almost always wrong. It's insane. So I think that your other nugget though, I think you're right as far as like the longest coach of the year, but in modern era, I think you have to almost certainly make the playoffs. I think the two criteria, make the playoffs and win at least more than 4 games. I think that than you did the previous year, which would put you in a good spot.
So are you basically crossing off anyone that had a winning record last year? Would you say that's a fair angle?
Almost, but like I think if you're and we'll get to them, but like I think if you're like if you're 9-8 and you go to 13-4, depending on the team, depending on the narrative, I think you're in the mix. But if you're coming off a season where your team was 10-7, I think it's going to be almost impossible for you to win Coach of the Year, because inevitably there's going to be one team that makes a huge jump up. And last year I didn't see it coming. Kevin O'Connell, what he did with Sam Darnold to win 14 games, I didn't see that coming, but that was obviously a massive step up. They were 7-10 year before, 14-3. You're going to just lock that in. Now, the irony is, Dan Campbell probably should have won Coach of the Year, but they just don't. They won too many games the year previous. Yeah. It's a simple formula in some ways.
Yeah. No, I was trying to verify some. I was digging in to see if it's possible we may have had a Coach of the Year miss the playoffs back in like the 60s.
Well, it's funny if you go back. It's just basically the best team. Yeah, the coach like that. There's a modern stat there with the improvement. Like before, it was just like
whoever was the good coach.
Exactly.
At some point, it changed, and it became about the expectations exceeding them.
But you're looking at Don Shula, George Allen.
Yeah, so like
Bud Grant.
Which were actually
I mean, you go back to the 70s. You have Shula, Knox, Coryell. You go to the 80s. You have Gibbs, Ditka, Parcells. You go to the 90s. You have Cower, Parcells, Reeves, Foss. I mean, it definitely seemed to be that sometime in the 2000s it started becoming an improvement award,
right?
Because Belichick was able to get a couple.
He got 2, right?
Yeah, Belichick has 2. Belichick has 3.
But
2003, 2007, 2010.
I mean, he did go 16-0 for that. You do have to get coach.
Yeah.
If you go 16-0, you should get coach.
There is, and Andy Reid was an interesting.
If I'm being honest,
in
today's NFL, if you go undefeated, I don't think that's a lock Coach of the Year.
Really?
Yeah.
I think if you went 17,
if Vrabel goes 12-5 in the same season.
No, if Andy Reid goes 17-0, he's winning Coach of the Year
over Vrabel if he improves by like 10 wins.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, 17-0.
I don't think Sirianni wouldn't get it.
Sirianni, they hate him because he's Italian. He's from Philly.
Gabagool.
Andy Reid is well liked, and he's a coaching genius. Even though he got outsmarted by Nick Sirianni and outcoached in the biggest game of all time, I think if you go 17-0, automatically in. But the odds, I don't think it's a good bet for Coach of the Year if you're looking to play that angle.
No. Anyway, so all right, so we've we've essentially excluded a lot of people.
Well, yeah, but let's.
All right,
you want to start
bottom
from
of the top.
Okay.
I see that the Elves were in here making some last minute preparations to the sheet. Andy Reid, Nick Sirianni, both 100-1.
Yeah.
Harbaugh 75-1. Anything to talk about here?
No, I mean, I do think if the Chiefs went undefeated, Andy Reid would win it. And maybe even Sirianni, but.
Should we call this tier former winners of the award?
Mm.
And Nick Sirianni.
You know what's an interesting note about Andy Reid's only went Coach of the Year one, which was with the Eagles,
2002.
All right, when they went 12-4, he went 11-5 the previous 2 years before that. So
that must have been before they kind of like changed into the.
This was kind of like a.
That's probably right around when it started changing.
Kind of like your lifetime achievement, like they do for Oscars for a little bit, you know.
Well, and that's the other thing too. Like Andy Reid's already gotten it. Nick Sirianni, I think, would have to win another Super Bowl for people to finally realize he's a good head coach, and then maybe turn around and at some point he gets a lifetime achievement award. John Harbaugh, I don't think there's anything he can do to win Coach of the Year. Again, 17-0, but none of those are worth betting in my mind.
I was going to say, I almost think his brother was kind of the first improvement award, but they did have a really good season. They were 13-3 that year, but they had only won 6 games the year before. So, and that was 2011. And kind of since then, it's been a lot like Bruce Arians is of the world, Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
All right. I'm with you. You cross all these guys off. 50-1 tier. Sean McDermott, Zach Taylor, Kevin O'Connell, Dan Quinn, Todd Bowles, D'Amico Ryans.
There's a Kevin in there, but no.
Well, Kevin O'Connell kind of is in the mix, regardless of what you think about the win improvement theory. Because if he wins the same amount of games with a brand new quarterback, he will get tons of praise.
Yeah, I guess I'm tainted because
50-1 is
I've
crazy.
been told that JJ McCarthy, even though he's never played a snap in the NFL, it's not going to be any sort of a detriment to him. So I've been told it's an upgraded quarterback from veteran Sam Darnold.
There's no way. There's absolutely no way. Kevin O'Connell should be less than Sirianni.
Yeah.
You think 50-1's crazy? I think it should be 500-1.
I think he has a very clear path, which is run back last year.
And I don't think he gets it though.
They're not giving him back-to-back coach of the years. And they because it was Sam Darnold and how low people think of him is why he got that.
I know, but it's a rookie. It would be almost
but they already assume he's better than Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
All right, so is there someone else in this tier that you?
Well, and it's
take?
like Dan Quinn missed a shot. If he's not going to win it last year, where they completely turned around the franchise,
he got robbed.
He
got robbed.
Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, he should have won coaching. Yeah. No one. It's like we forgot how bad that roster was being viewed before the start of the season.
Yeah.
So it was more than just they hit the quarterback and some draft picks. Everything worked.
I hate them too, but Dan Quinn was great.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles is close to being.
He's in purgatory. He'll never get it.
Well, I'm just saying if the Bucks go 14-3 and the Bucks get the #1 seed, is Todd Bowles in the mix for Coach of the Year?
He's an anti-DEI black guy. I think that's tough.
What he does have going for him is that kind of that Geno Smithish where they're like they expect so little of him.
Yeah.
And then when he does outperform,
I love Todd Bowles.
I love Todd Bowles too, but
they did win the division last year.
Every year his price is this. Every year he's priced here, and every year it's like because he's not actually he's not even in consideration for the award.
Right.
I think it's. Of all the guys we've talked to so far, if I had to play one guy 50 and above, it would be Todd Bowles. But I agree with you, Kramer. I'm not touching it.
Yeah, to me, Kevin O'Connell's path makes more sense to me, which is there's not another candidate that really stands out, and he has an amazing year with JJ McCarthy in his first year.
Okay.
He does what most people don't think he's going to do, but your mentions may.
Well, and also I think there's an angle of exceeding your win total. That was the other thing, right? Like the Minnesota win total, I think was 6.5 last year.
it was. I mean, again, because he was. Yeah, I agree. There's more hype this year. Correct.
Yeah. So there's less of an ability to destroy that win total. If you're looking to destroy some win totals, do it with your Edge Boost card.
Wow.
Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors. Sure, it all can't look at that. Open up the trapper keeper, CJ, because I know your Edge Boost card is in there. Love my Edge Boost card. No usage fees, no minimums. Earn cash back rewards. 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today. EdgeBoost.bet. With promo code SGPN. Last week, we're offering the free Refs or Terrorists t-shirts. So go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs to claim your free t-shirt. And of course, shout out to the beautiful Circa. Circa, awesome place to hang out. Man in the Box was just hanging out there with us. Got to spend a nice day hanging out, watching Stadium Swim.
Yeah.
You joined us on the VSiN show, hanging out all over Circa. It's great place to eat, to hang. The Legacy Club. It really is awesome. Great place to host your fantasy football draft. Promo code SGP15. Anytime you're getting a room at Circa, the D. Golden Gate, get the suite at Golden Gate. That's a nice treat yourself.
Yes.
Or just win a free trip. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. Enter for free. All you got to do, give them your name and your email. They should have it already on file because you and 11 friends win a 2-night stay, $5,000 bar tab at Stadium Swim. You get the cabana, the limo. They do it. They take care of you. Over at Circuit sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. Kramer also went on a nice heater there in the NFL slot machine. Got some hand pay.
I mean, Sean, as someone who has played the slot, whatever the latest software update felt a little bit more like the old game.
Oh, okay, great.
I got it. I mean, and just hitting a double clutch kick. I don't know if there's much better. In the game, in the universe of that game.
No, it is awesome.
And let me tell you, you will hit that number of 5,000 at Stadium Swim. By the way, I went there by myself. I had to have a certain number myself. I called some locals. Friend of the program, Hannibal Burris, was in town. He came by, hit the number with me a little bit there, but let me tell you, it took about 20 minutes to hit that number.
It is
no problem.
It's a good
hang.
Time.
Yeah,
and I mean, Stadium Swim is. I mean, we remember when Derek had us out there and he was explaining all these giant TVs, hang out at the pool all day.
Incredible.
It lives up to the hype. Kramer, where were we? NFL Coach of the Year.
So is anyone locking down a 50-1 tier? Zach Taylor. Is Zach Taylor in the mix this year?
Oh, no. But
no chance?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, no chance.
I mean, again,
so Zach Taylor, no. Sean McDermott, no. Kevin O'Connell. I'm not going to say full no, but I concede the argument is strong against him. Dan Quinn.
Zach Taylor has a chance. I would say Zach Taylor has a chance out of any of those guys.
Dan Quinn, no. Todd Bowles, no.
Mainly because they missed the playoffs. So you run the playoffs, you go 14-3, and all of a sudden you're the 1 seed in the AFC.
It is a fun way to shoot the moon on them because the 1 seed price isn't as good.
For sure.
Yeah. Do we have the 1 seed price out there?
Let me see.
They go from missing the playoffs to the 1 seed. He's in the contention for sure.
You're probably right. Like if the Bengals are 15-2, that would be a 6-win.
Yeah.
And Mark Zach Taylor. We have to observe that.
All right. Zach Taylor, 50-1. Good eye. Is everyone in on Zach Taylor?
Yeah. 50-1. We're not going to find a 50-1 that's possible.
Bengals are. I'm already that. Like we just got the VSiN NFL guide email, Sean. And I was like, this is a little early. I'm feeling a little pressure. Like I haven't done all the NFL prep yet, but I do know that the Bengals are going to be winning the NFC or AFC, I think, or at least be a very strong contender.
Should be. They got to get their pass rush.
What's their 1 seed price?
Oh, I lost track, but I couldn't find it. But their conference price is 9. Their conference price is 9-1.
Yeah, so your conference price isn't usually that different from your number 1 seed price.
They have a tough division. Call it 12-1.
Yeah,
maybe.
Agreed. So Zach Taylor at 50-1. If they're the 1 seed and they're 14-3 or higher, you're right. They are in the mix, and that would be a 5-win improvement. And I think CJ nailed it. The fact that they missed the playoffs, I think, does make a difference.
That's the headline they use.
Yeah,
from
missing the playoffs to number 1 seed. Certainly, Burrow is going to eat into a bit of the glazing that the media would want to do, but I think Zach and maybe there would even be some sympathetic votes because everyone knows how cheap and shitty the Bengals ownership is, and they might give him an extra couple votes because of that.
interestingly enough, the John Harbaugh, great example of this outcome because MVP Lamar Jackson was on his team and he was still able to win Coach of the Year.
Good
point. And that was a 14-2 Ravens team, kind of what we're describing here. Ooh. Found a diamond in the rough. We're like one of those metal detector guys.
Prospectors.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you guys are
prospectors.
We had an opportunity.
we had our Gus Chiggins costumes.
I had the videos up.
45.
I'll get some of those mining pants.
I probably should have included him, but
some gold doubloons.
First, this guy should have been included with the last group, but Kevin Stefanski, 45-1.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about Stefanski, he certainly has a shot. It's just, do they want to give it to him for a third time?
He's not a 3-time Coach of the Year.
I know,
but also
they won 3 games last year. If he takes Joe Flacco and if Shador Sanders, I didn't tag you, Ryan, but Dylan Gabriel struggling a little bit. Shador just dropping dimes left and right.
I played a video for The Office before the show. That was basically Joe Flacco being old, talking about how he's only on Instagram and how TikTok dances are embarrassing. Act like an adult.
Twitter didn't exist when he was a rookie, which is not true, but I do like him saying that.
He had so much confidence.
Yeah.
That might actually be true because the iPhone came out when Joe Flacco was a rookie.
Maybe that's true.
But the confidence he had in him just having this conversation with the media. There's no one close to Joe Flacco in that quarterback.
He is a dad who's so happy to be out of the house.
There's no one close to him.
He's loving that he's got to be out there. What's funny is, right, you don't want to give Stefanski the Coach of the Year 3 times, but this is actually the best setup for him to ever win Coach of the Year. I mean, they're expected to be one of the worst teams in the league with a mess of a quarterback room.
Which is fair.
That's the other. That's the other problem. They might really suck.
I mean, right? But I'm saying if he takes his team 11-6 or whatever, or whatever it is.
I think
a team that's supposed to win 3 games.
Miles Garrett is inviting Aaron Rodgers to the graveyard.
They talk so much shit, and they're
the problem is too that division is so. Yeah,
they're such a terrible team, but they always talk trash. It's hilarious.
How about we flip it around? We say, is it possible that if you circled the Browns and Bengals and said one of these teams could rise to the top of the division, maybe be good enough? In the Browns case, they don't have to.
The Browns just have to make the playoffs. Yeah. If the Browns made the playoffs with that quarterback
at
room,
45-1, does Kevin Stefanski get it for a third time?
Well, they just get tired of the narrative. It's close. I see the path. I'm holding off. You can talk to me into Zach Taylor. I'm holding off on.
He overcame Deshaun Watson,
but it would be the most Browns thing for him to win Coach of the Year for the 3rd time and then get fired mid-season the next year.
Yeah,
which he obviously will be, or whatever.
He gets the Coach of the Year award after they lose by 30
crushing
points.
the playoffs and then fired. And you're firing a 3-time Coach of the Year. I almost kind of want to dabble, but.
CJ, are you in or out?
Pencil. Put it in pencil for me, and I might come back and cross it off.
I mean,
CJ's with me.
Yeah, I'm in there.
All right. I'm disciplined. I'm staying away.
30-1 tier. Sean McVay? Probably no. Right? Brian Dable?
No.
I mean, there's certainly a path there for a team that was a quarterback away.
The shame of giving him the Coach of the Year the first time is already.
Yeah, they already regret it.
It's like giving Marissa Tomei another Oscar. We're like, we just can't listen.
You got your one off us.
Cousin Vinny,
don't
whatever. You fooled us, okay?
Just take a piece of 250-1 on the Super Bowl just in case.
Now that you talk me into that.
Mike McDaniel.
No.
Mike Tomlin.
The problem is they're in the playoffs every year.
But what if he like makes Aaron Rodgers likable?
I mean, I guess
that would be amazing.
If the Steelers get the 1 seed, they wouldn't want to reward Rodgers. It's probably not because of as much as Ryan likes tossing out as Devontae Adams, offensive player of the year at 170.
DK Metcalf.
I mean, they're both going down together. Tomlin and Rodgers. This is their last year in football. I mean, and definitely in Pittsburgh. I mean, this is going to be
Steelers 1 seed is going to be about 30-1.
They're tied at the hip.
Yeah. I would just rather play Steelers 1 seed.
Even if it's 25-1, it's probably a better bet.
Yeah.
Raheem Morris.
Has Tomlin ever won though? I don't think he has.
No.
See, that could be one of those lifetime achievements.
That would be his angle too.
He gets no respect.
But I'll stay away.
I mean, if Steelers win 12 games, he's definitely a consideration.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The problem is the back end of their schedule's tough.
Yeah, we know exactly how the season's going to go.
And I don't want to have all these AFC North
bet on every AFC North. Raheem Morris. I absolutely not. I don't think he's a good coach.
Yeah, I mean that's
but
it's certainly the opportunity is there,
and
I think
loves him.
I think Michael Penix could be better year 2, but to your point, I'm not super stoked on him as a coach. Just period.
It's personal with you, Kramer, because because of Arthur Smith and the whole.
Also just like the way that we were shamed by, I forget who it was, maybe the Saints GM, Mickey Loomis. How dare no one hire Raheem Morris? Great coach.
Yeah.
I'm not too keen on that coaching staff in general. Kellen Moore, 30-1. Obvious path.
His path is there, but then
his path's great.
Do we see Tyler Shuck getting this team into the playoffs?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. No. Well, I mean, that's the thing. The divisions are wide open.
Yeah.
And the path is
they're just their rosters.
Did you hear
first time coach? We went over that.
Yeah. No, it is. Of the first time coaches, he is the longest odds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because his team sucks.
Right.
You hear what Cam Jordan said about the quarterback?
What he said?
He's already talking about how next year he'd love to bring in a vet. And then that vet, if he had one vet to choose from, Jameis Winston.
Arch Manning. Jameis Winston.
So I that's not a great sign for this year. He's talking about signing Jameis Winston.
And I can see the organization wanting to get Arch Manning and just doing a full
that makes if Arch comes out.
Yeah.
No, I'm out on Kellen.
Yeah, I'm out on Kellen Moore.
I don't know if he's a good coach.
Yeah, he might be okay.
They literally, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Eagles kind of changed their whole. The Eagles like pretty pivoted off of what Kellen Moore wanted to do last year, right? Into more of a run. Like Kellen Moore didn't want to be run heavy.
No, you're right. He definitely had to work around Saquon a bit, and like Kellen Moore. I mean, good for Kellen Moore.
I mean, he did a good job, but I felt like that was more about the players.
Yeah, no, he was smart. Maybe he learned some things in Dallas, whatever, as he's moved on through different jobs. But like, he seemed like almost like, even though he's young, still like seemed like yesterday's news. And
well, he had a ton of heat, and then he didn't get a job, and then it cooled off, and
But maybe that's what you got to do to mature. So maybe he can do something down there.
Tyler Shuck, the interesting aspect to him is
he also
how many games or how old he is and how experienced he is.
He gets hurt a lot, as Colby will point out. I mean, Kellen Moore he went from the Cowboys to the Chargers.
Right.
So there was a little bouncing there, and it didn't really make sense. I also a fun Kellen Moore story. I watched him beat Virginia Tech at FedEx Field, the worst stadium in America. Back, I think maybe 2000, whenever they played Virginia Tech there, Boise State. I'm out on Kellen Moore. Brian Callahan.
You got to take it. At 30-1. I think you have to, even though
you were the coach responsible for the horrible year last year.
I feel like we have to take it just because their path into the playoffs.
Sean, we said no Titan stuff this year.
Yeah.
I'm all Titans now. I'm the prospector.
Well, but
I know.
I think it is smart to either have a Callahan or Liam Cohen ticket. I think, because if either of those teams get into the playoffs, man, coming out of 3-win team up to making the playoffs, God, but he didn't seem like a good coach.
It's a rookie quarterback.
Is the count.
Jaden Daniels is the extreme outlier. Don't forget.
Well, and they didn't even end up winning it, right? But this is
no, I mean in terms of getting to the playoffs as a rookie quarterback.
Yeah,
Bo Nix did it. I'm saying, but these quarterbacks are older now. These guys are these are different kind of rookie quarterbacks. I mean,
so I would say my take on that would
80
be
games experience by the time they take an NFL snap.
Brian Callahan's not Sean Payton. Like that's
he's better, right?
to me, what makes it tough about Brian Callahan is not that he didn't get much out of Will Levis. It's just like how he handled it and how visibly frustrated he was on the sidelines and his lack of adjustments throughout the year. Like, I think it's easy to throw Will Levis under the bus, and certainly he deserves a lot of blame for that season, but a lot of coach of the year types can make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and I didn't see any chicken salad coming out of that chicken shit. Will Levis, and maybe you put in a little mayo.
I was gonna say, speaking of mayonnaise,
yeah,
and people get creative with their chicken salad recipes.
I didn't see much
adjustment there. Get the hell out of there. Put me down for Brian Callahan. I mean, this makes sense. First of all, you have Cam Ward. You just convinced me. It was all Will Levis.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the year, the offense started looking better.
That is true.
I mean, Brian Callahan was hired for a reason. He was the buzz coming out of Cincinnati, but I don't like the Callahan family either. But I mean, come on, Cam Ward compared to Will Levis, and he's coming in there. How old is Cam Ward? He's got to be 25. He played at Washington State for 9 years.
All right, I know I just made fun of him a bunch, but
Cam
at
Ward,
30-1, it's a good
30
price.
30-1.
30-1 with the odds-on Rookie of the Year. Give me Callahan, or I guess it's him and Ginty. But yeah, give me Callahan.
I think that
They probably don't even have to make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah,
9
they have
and 8?
to make the playoffs. Well,
9 and 8 gets you there.
9 and 8 if you're maybe.
My take on them this year is last year's Bears team, maybe with slightly more offense. Maybe they turn into a fun fantasy team. Cam Ward has some of the same flaws as Will Levis in terms of the mistakes are bad.
Yeah.
And so that's why Cam Ward had to have all those crazy ass comebacks in college. Because I mean, Cam Ward was part of the reason that they were losing in some of those games. Granted, Miami had a bad defense, but I see the angle. But I said no Titans stuff this year.
It's fair.
I'm all Titans now.
Brian, all right, so 25-1 now. Brian Schottenheimer.
No,
absolutely not.
No.
Get this man off.
CJ, are you?
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay. Move on.
He is
shoddy. No shoddy.
It's almost like he's the fall guy. Matt LaFleur.
No.
25-1.
No.
There's a decent amount of smoke there. I think I'm out on it obviously because Jordan Love is Fugazi, but I think that he would. There's a lot of people that seem to want to give him flowers for whatever reason.
No, they were coming off an 11-6 year. They got into the playoffs. No,
one seed.
No,
does the 1 seed get?
No, I don't think so.
1 seed plus Love MVP season.
Maybe, but
play the MVP.
That's not happening.
Sean Payton 25-1.
No,
they won't give it to him.
No,
not after what he.
No,
did.
I mean last year he had a shot, didn't get it.
Not after what he did with the Saints.
They went 10-7 last year, so I mean he'd have to win 15 games maybe.
He also
14,
he's not exactly
14 at the minimum.
Not exactly.
He does seem to rub some of the guys the wrong way.
Yeah, that's true. He's no longer the darling.
No. Shane Steichen.
Now this is
pause. He, from the degree of difficulty standpoint, you have this interesting division filled with teams that are all high variance. You have nothing at quarterback. You have a quarterback situation that has been just nothing but failure.
Yeah.
And so if success happens,
you're right. And this is how O'Connell won last year because of Sam Darnold. The image of Sam Darnold was so bad, and that he won with it was why he was overwhelming coach of the year. The image of Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones won Brian Dable a coach.
That's what I mean. It's equally. Maybe he can just go and win you coach of the year. Daniel Jones. That's his job because people think so poorly of him.
It's pretty good in contract years.
I guess my counter is you need to win more than 4 games you did the year before. The Colts aren't winning. They're not going 12-5 is my take. So even at 20-1, I'm staying away. But there certainly is a case.
Just think of it this way, though.
And the AFC South is over.
How many wins did they have last year?
8.
Okay, 8 wins.
Yeah.
Let's say they figure it out. Anthony Richardson plays healthier a little bit. They both play, and Shane Steichen, great play caller, gets a little juice, and they improve by a win or 2.
No.
And then they go instead of going 4-2 in their division or whatever, they go 6-0. Couple balls bounce the right way. Next thing you know, you're at 12-5, staring down the barrel of a Dan Jones, Anthony Richardson 2-step in the playoffs.
Well, here's what the one thing you said that I think hits on what would help his chances is if he has to use 2 quarterbacks. If Daniel Jones plays for a little while, and then he gets hurt, which he inevitably does. And then Anthony Richardson comes. If Riley Leonard wins like a game randomly, and they end up getting to the
that's what
playoffs.
I'm saying.
Well, they are not far from Riley Leonard.
You're right.
Anthony Richardson is one of the softest players in the NFL.
Daniel Jones is a goddamn neck injury.
A very serious, like The Giants told him to leave, which franchise that in my memory has never done that before. Said, we can't risk you hurting your neck in our building. Get out.
Still sending his line gifts. I would even say like 3 wins might be because how many times was there 17-game seasons with that 4?
Real
So
quick.
you know what I mean? Like the wins are 1 little more, maybe 3.5. I haven't crunched the numbers yet between 1 extra game.
And CJ brings up a great point. Giving the offensive lineman gifts, all-time nice guy. He's going to fit in great in the flyover state of Indiana.
Absolutely.
They love nice guys, and they like white people out there. So that also works well. And you have the tragic magic angle.
Now they like
Jim Irsay is already dragged the Pacers to the finals.
Yes.
Could he drag this Colts team to a deep run?
You're right.
So you're taking second at 25-1?
I think I have to mark them.
CJ, what are you doing? Are you
pencil. I might have to come back.
I mean, I've really talked myself in. Yeah, this is another pencil.
I want to end up with 3. I don't want to have more than 3.
All right.
That's
I guess I'm trying to look at the rest of the list. I'll go Steichen, and we can. I know you like to lean, Ryan, so we'll come back and make.
Did I say lean?
No, I'm just saying you're
pencil.
Yeah,
pencil goes to pen.
We'll circle back.
Pencil goes to pen.
Yeah,
pen goes to paper
back.
ticket. Sean, we will be back in Vegas in 3 weeks. In that time, I need to be very organized and prepared because I want to load up. That's the paper ticket day. That's going to be we should declare a paper ticket holiday that day, Sean. All right, Dan Campbell, 22-1.
Yeah, no,
it's impossible.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lost his assistants. A lot of turnover. People not believing in him. I still can't believe he walked away from Hulk Hogan like that. Back in training camp, he just said, "All right, Hulk, good to see you. I'm out."
It's the Hulk curse now.
Jonathan Gannon and Jim Harbaugh with Kyle Shanahan all at 20-1. I put them together because it feels like all of these guys are kind of out of the running for the award for different reasons. Now, Gannon, I would say you can probably play the ceiling outcome for the Cardinals in other ways, but they got a lot of defensive reinforcements. He's a defensive guy. If Kyler plays good enough, I think MVP 50-1's a nice price. But and also like the resistance in their division is perceived to be harder than it might be, in my opinion. With the Niners, I don't think the Niners, or frankly the Rams, are as good as people are talking. I think the Rams are good, but people are talking about the Rams like a serious Super Bowl contender. And, a lot of fragility there. So Gannon's the most attractive guy to me here in this 20-1 range.
You love
Kyle Shanahan and Jim Harbaugh can't win the award in my mind.
Well, so
why don't you think Kyle Shanahan can win?
Yeah.
I think Kyle Shanahan has a good chance of winning.
Really?
Actually, yeah.
Okay.
How many wins did they have last year? Besides them missing the playoffs, if they go back with that schedule, if they rack up 13, 14 wins, will they win 8 last year?
Because it will be
7.
No, they were even
7 or 6, right?
They were 6 and
6-11.
Oh, I mean, come on,
So,
they could double that win amount.
So the I think where he might get tripped up is the expectation is there, right? Like the win total for them is 10.5. So. No, like when O'Connell did it last year, going from 7 wins to 14, and their win total was 6.5. The expectation, everyone knows, they got an easy schedule. It's sit at 10.5.
Yeah, but I mean, still, you put up a 14-3.
No, and maybe
like
and the media does love Shanahan. So what better way to glaze him than giving him Coach of the Year here at 20-1?
Yeah. I'm saying of those 3, I'm not taking Shanahan, but I'm saying of those 3, I think Shanahan easily has the best chance.
Yeah, I'm staying away, but
Pencil
I
me
agree.
Gannon. Pencil me again.
Pencil me a Gannon.
Someone said fire. Someone said fire the Gannon. I like that.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, fire the Gannon. All right, big drop here. We got Dave Canales and Pete Carroll, 2 opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to physical fitness or physique, at least. Both guys fucked though. 14-1. Pete Carroll is interesting. Just so much resistance in that division. There's got to be a better way to play that.
Probably, but of looking at this list and how far we're going, he's my number 1 choice, I would say.
Really?
They won 4 games last year.
Yeah.
And they built this roster to win 8 games, to be a low floor, They don't care about. They're not trying to win a Super Bowl. They're not trying to win a division. They're trying not to be terrible because they've been terrible so long.
If he takes the Raiders from 4-13 into the playoffs at 9-8,
yep,
I think he will be in the mix.
And he's Pete Carroll. They love him.
Yeah, I think
Vegas, the whole thing.
I think his case is pretty good. I just don't like the price there. That short at 14-1.
I am a Raiders and Bengals guy this year, so it would be fitting that I settle in on those two coaches.
Mm-hmm. And has he ever won? No.
No, I don't think so.
Of course not. I'm looking at it right now. Going
Canales again, same kind of thing for me. Like
everyone's gonna love Canales this year.
I get it, and he certainly will get some credit coming off the 5-12 season. But he was also responsible for a lot of that 5-12, and so yeah, I don't love him. I think these guys have good chances. I just don't like the price of 14-1.
What's the biggest thing in Pete Carroll's way? Just the division.
The rest
really
of the
hard.
AFC West, I think. Yeah.
Is he your favorite choice in the division?
At the price?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't talk. We skipped through Jim Harbaugh.
No, I mentioned Harbaugh.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I don't think any of them. I don't think. Yeah, I think the AFC West. He's the only guy who has a shot to win.
Yeah. Pete Carroll's interesting. Pencil me, Pete Carroll.
Okay.
Pencil me, Pete.
Mike McDonald, 13-1.
Now he was the darling last year for Coach of the Year.
Did he miss his shot?
Look who came to town. Coach of the Year winner, Sam Darnold, basically. If he wins with Sam Darnold after Geno's, who's considered a downgrade from Geno Smith for crying out loud.
I need a better price.
Yeah,
I agree. They won 10 games last year.
I agree. I thought he was going to be at 20-1 or something.
Also, I read a report from one of the Seattle beat reporters that effectively said Sam Darnold in the offense looked like trash in minicamp. I'm paraphrasing, but that's really what they said.
It's early, Ryan. It's early, but yeah, I'm not touching either one of these.
Aaron Glenn or Liam Cohen at 10-1.
Well, I mean, yeah, like Aaron Glenn, I think it's very intriguing, but again, it involves the Jets. Good things happening to the Jets, which just doesn't seem to happen. I think if you're
also, why are we so certain that Aaron Glenn's going to remove the rot from the Jets? Why is he the coach?
I mean, you got Breece Hall showing up. Like you want to talk about early OTAs. You got guys buying in already early compared to previous regimes.
I think they like how
you got Aaron Rodgers out of the building. Culture change. I just, for something that nice to happen to the Jets, I need longer odds than 10-1.
Yeah.
He's certainly in the mix. And then same with Liam Cohen. Yeah. They only won 3 games last year. If they get into the playoffs, he's a smash play.
Right. The difference is Aaron Glenn has a running back, at quarterback, and Liam Cohen is the MVP, for crying out loud. I mean, it's such an easy coin flip out there. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, I'm still not taking my 10-1. I mean, because they even won 7 games last year, right? Jacksonville?
No. They were like what, 3-14?
Oh, that's right.
Bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, I'm projecting that's a win total this year.
Sorry, 4-13.
4-13. Their win total this year is 7.5.
They get to the playoffs, but they also. Like the expectations have been so high for Trevor Lawrence. If they just get in as a wild card, maybe
you have the Duval moment.
You have the Duval moment.
The price is kind of short.
Duval moment is like the Woody Harrelson walking off the train, looking like a buster.
Yeah,
that was Liam Cohen setting up the grift.
Aaron Glenn.
Because now when he overperforms, people are like, that guy was a clown, but we were the clown.
Sirianni kind of pulled that off with his flower speech and stuff.
Kramer was killing him for his press conference.
No, Sirianni lucked into it. Sirianni is like a rock-filled head who just happens to have some.
Who just happened to outsmart Andy Reid in the Super Bowl.
Lucky the Italians.
Outcoach him.
No doubt. It was not Sirianni doing the outsmarting though. I think he has a good staff.
I'll say what Aaron Glenn does have though going for him, obviously, and that's the New York media loudness. The same
lather him up.
The same media that gave Sauce Gardner Rookie of the Year, and they hyped him up like he was like this is the most elite shutdown corner. Like if the Jets do anything, they're gonna act like he's a god for finally, because they love bringing up the history of finally the Jets are bad. I mean, because the Jets are been tragic, and especially with their owner. So, and they
he's still there, though.
And they like Glenn, but I don't like Justin Fields. I still don't want to play 10-1 on Cohen though.
No, it's hard to play these short prices in Coach of the Year. And then Vrabel 750 and Ben Johnson 650. Obviously,
it's a baby fucking wheel, man.
Both of these guys are shortest prices because if they get it right, people are going to bend over, spread their cheeks, and apply the award to them.
Oh, and now fantasy guys love them.
Ben Johnson, in my mind, though, this is where what's wrong with these odds is I think Ben Johnson should be closer to what we saw from the favorites last year, like sub 5-1. And Vrabel should be closer to Liam Cohen and Aaron Glenn, in my opinion. Because the situation for Ben Johnson is much healthier than the situation for Mike Vrabel.
The roster seems better.
Just everything we know about the roster and the players on the roster, I'd rather have the Chicago situation. Now we know more about Mike Vrabel as a coach, or do we? He was get the most juice out of a culture and a roster.
And he already
that
won
takes
one.
time.
Yeah, and he already won one.
And a weird year too. That was the one with the one win.
Yeah,
I mean he was 11-5 the year before. He went 9-7, 9-7, 11-5. Then he went 12-5, and that's when he won for some reason.
If you remember, Sean, we had a nice bet in season that year. If I'm not mistaken, it was like last week of the season. You could take the money line on the Titans, or if they won, it was likely he would get the award. He was still like 5-1.
There was a theory that he won that year because he lost your man, offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, that year, and they were like, "Wow, how did he pull it off without the great Arthur Smith?"
And that was.
And I think he was getting Ryan Tannehill points, right? They're like, "Oh, you're doing this with Ryan Tannehill."
Good point.
That was. It might have. Was that the same season he said he would cut off his dick for a Super Bowl, or did that come later? Because that showed a lot of commitment. People respected that.
They do.
And I think you got credit for that 2020 year where they beat
in the playoffs.
Ravens.
Beat Baltimore in
so,
Baltimore.
What is all right, so that's it.
So I'm getting my Sharpie out. Give me Shane Steichen, Brian Callahan, Zach Taylor. Kramer, you have like 9 guys.
That's not true. I have 5.
All right.
So Zach Taylor.
Officially.
Because I'm a Bengals guy this year. Get rid of Stefanski.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get rid of Stefanski. Yeah. Now I've thought more about it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Big Play Dave, but the Browns are going to suck this year, unfortunately, or not suck, but not be anywhere near. I'll stick with the Shane Steichen angle. That it's too. I got to have a team from that division.
Kramer if Daniel Jones somehow ends up being good, Kramer wants to win some money.
I just think it's an obvious path for a 25-1. And then give me I lied. I'll do 4. Get Sharpie up Gannon and Pete Carroll.
CJ, what are your official plays?
Official plays will be Zach Taylor.
Yes.
Yeah, clear out Stefanski.
No Stefanski.
Stefanski didn't make the cut.
Callahan for sure.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely, Sharpie Callahan.
Good luck, guys. Not really.
Sharpie up Callahan. I'm ready to get rid of Steichen too. Actually, who am I kidding?
Oh wow!
I mean, although we did the whole path of it, and it is perfect for him.
You're right. Those quarterbacks suck.
They're terrible.
Yeah, get him off the list for me.
Get him out of here. He's another trader. Yeah, that's it.
Now it's gonna happen.
I'm on Steichen Island all of a sudden.
I want a clean. We got to keep a clean 3. Pete Carroll's winning it. That's done. That's a 5-unit play. Brian
Steichen Island sounds
Zach Taylor. Steichen Island.
Sounds like a camp where bad things happen.
Yeah, no Shane in my game. There we go.
All right, we're gonna get to Protector of the Year. Before we do, shout out to who do we got to talk about? Of course, Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. Kramer, why don't you tell people why you like Underdog and do the rest of the reads? I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Where could Sean be going? This is very mysterious.
Let's go speed bet.
We have gotten closer to locking in a date for draft day 4. Me doing 24 hours of best ball drafts on Underdog.
There was rumors that wasn't going to happen. 24-hour draft day.
I'd say minus 500 now.
I heard the medical reports came back. Doctors advised against you. The blood work came back. The family was pleading.
I think the family actually likes it. They get that.
they get to make fun of dad.
Oh yeah.
Up there.
When you're on TV, you are famous once in a while, but they're at an age now where it's a little embarrassing. But yeah, so Underdog promo code SGPN, get that $1,000 bonus cash, and they got their finals extender bonus going. So
yeah,
hop in, use the code SGPN, $1,000 bonus. I still can't wait to find out what Sean is up to. And we have Rhythm and their new. I feel like we need a reverb machine to say this. Their power trends.
NFL power trends, which is their new thing. I was going to help you out, but I realized both our voices are so Vegas out right now. We are no help. I mean, this just sounds like
It's ridiculous that Sean's making me do this, but.
Tom Waits gargling cigarettes in the night.
Oh my God. I mean, it's the first time I've gotten Vegas voice in a while. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythms. Get your 7-day free trial. I will tell you this preview for the NFL season. Rhythm will be with us through the NFL season, I believe. And
yes,
we're going to be doing some heavy last year I named my models. So hit me up with what you think I should name my model this year. Right now, Fire the Gannon might be one of the models.
Fire the Gannon. Gannon's fire. The Steichen Island isn't bad either.
Steichen Island is going to be a horse name, unrelated to Rhythm. But sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial started today, and we're going to hit them later in the show for a money bag. But mybookie.ag,
who does not charge 50 cents a fee for your bets.
Tax free on that. I mean, what you talking about? The city of or the state of Illinois deploying a ridiculous bet surcharge, not happening down with our friends close to the equator here with MyBookie. 100% deposit match. Use the promo code SGPN. T's and C's on the bonus. Like I said, we'll circle back to the money bag later. I did not do well. Last time.
What you run so good when it comes to golf. You used to take some U.S. Opens.
No, it was golf. I got one of the U.S. qualifier alternates.
Did you get the dentist?
Eric Cole, who was in the playoff group with Max Homa.
Eric Cole was a name back in the day.
Yeah, he was in the playoff group with Cam Young, Max Homa,
so he's
Ricky
not in
Fowler.
It?
No, he got in as an alternate. I got him.
Okay.
And then let me pull up the other money. We're talking about the money bag from last. I'm running cold, very cold.
You were running so good for PGA, and then
So
you got the dentist, you got the alternate.
Eric Cole at so the number this week is 117-1. I got Eric Cole, and I got Dustin Johnson. Who, by the way, if you didn't see his sexy photos he released,
I did see.
Shout out to Dustin Johnson. He's gone full. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and his quotes were just like saying, "I just don't want to play golf too."
No, it's great.
I got 6 more years of grinding, and I'm gonna fish. He's had such a tough life.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Poor guy.
Poor Dustin.
MyBookie.ag promo code SGPN. All right, Protector of the Year.
Let's go.
All right.
I don't think I can rattle through names, but we
don't need to break down.
No.
It's a little bit of a
Joe Tippmann out of the Jets.
Well, all right. So let's start there. Positional. So we have no idea how they're going to vote for this award. We don't even have any sort of guidance. Like sometimes you'll hear about what the voters are being told. We have none of that. So we have to assume that this will be a pass focused award.
Right.
I think because it's called the Protector, where we will see left tackles or blindside protectors as the main candidates. And I believe this will be a team award where you have a marquee left tackle, great offense, and a good offensive line, like a total package. So with that being said, anything to add, Sean?
No, I think you're right. I think there's not a ton of stats, so it has to be someone that the voters, I don't think they're going to dive too deep into it. I think they're going to look at good teams, good offensive lines, and just be like, yeah, one of those guys.
Which is why
I don't think they're going to do much of a deep dive.
Circa has these odds. Shout out to the Circa. Penei Sewell is at 550. Jordan Mailata at 925. Tristan Wirfs 11-1. Lane Johnson 1350. Chris Lindstrom 14-1. And on and on and on. Is there to me, I like the way I would look at this is purely targeted offense that has the chance to be very good and has a name brand at left tackle. And so we talked about this on VSiN, Sean, and if you shop around and you look really hard, you can still find Joe Alt at 50-1.
Yeah. I think
great number.
Yeah. If you can play Joe Alt 50-1, I think that's a good sprinkle. I do like, and this is interesting because Circa has Mailata the favorite over Lane Johnson. When we were pulling it from an offshore and discussing it on VSiN, they had it switch where they had Lane Johnson as a favorite and Jordan Mailata as kind of the longer shot. I like Jordan Mailata a ton.
He's a better option, right?
I think so because he is the true left tackle. Lane is obviously very good, but Jordan Mailata, it's a good story.
Yeah.
Some reasons to not like Lane Johnson, the drug use, the suspension.
Lane Johnson is also very likable. Right. I think, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it homery. I'll play Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson because I think an Eagles O lineman winning this award is very high chance. Both are like in media a bunch. You know, Lane Johnson does PMT. He's a very likable guy. I know you just tried to shit on him, Ryan, but Jordan Mailata does the Christmas album.
Jordan, I'm just saying
he's a personality for sure, and that's also something to look into. You're gonna be like you guys were saying. You have to be.
Have they heard of him?
Personality on their own, or it's gonna be a great O-line, and people are gonna campaign for it, kind of like they do, just like for your baseball all-stars, whatever. Like, do you know we got a shortstop playing for the Pirates over here? It's like one of those situations.
Well, and to your point too, CJ, I do think if there's a surprise offense that does really well, then they may just default to whoever that left tackle is, right? So like the Broncos, if you look at like the advanced metric stuff, and I kind of took a glance at it, Eagles obviously very high, but the Broncos were up there and they were number 2 in a lot of the stuff. A big reason why Bo Nix had such a good year last year, as predicted by myself, is because they had a good O line. Now, if the Broncos make another jump up, Garrett Bowles, their left tackle, he's 45-1.
Yep.
I'm gonna put that as my my little sprinkle here because I could see that. I could see.
Well, is he a name brand though?
Well, I think there's a chance here for everyone to make them a name brand, and I do agree because Denver, I think their entire O line rates out very well. I mean, like 1 through 5.
And they have Sutton. They have but I think like if that offense does really well, I think it could just be as simple as, hey, let's vote for someone on the Broncos. Now it's interesting because they have Quinn Miners as 16-1 for the Broncos.
Yes.
I would just rather take the left tackle Garrett Bowles at 45-1.
He is the name I would say in the O-line streets.
Yeah.
That the guard there. Quinn Miners. But Luke Wattenberg also rates these linemen. Luke Wattenberg rates out as the second best guard for a win pass block rate.
Yeah.
Quinn Miners is 3rd. Now, as far as tackles, McClinch Bowles is 7th. For pass block win rate rankings here. I'm looking at this ESPN stats. The other tackle, Mike McClinchy, at 200-1, is the 6th best tackle in football. Sprinkle me on any two. See, I'm not playing any chalk when it comes to an O-line award show.
You're right.
What's the point? Let's just try to hit one of these things. And 200-1 of Mike McGlinchey, sorry. As a tackle, he's got a 94% pass block win rate, if you will. Above him is Lane Johnson, Joe Alt, Trent Williams, and Tristan Wirfs. That's it. And Brian O'Neill for the Vikings. Who's also 55-1.
Some other interesting long shots. Although Landon Dickerson 75-1 is kind of.
He plays guard. He's like he can't win the award. You have to be like Quentin Nelson.
I agree. I throw out all guards.
Centers too. Get them on. Get them out of here. You have to be like Hall of Fame to even be like Jason Kelsey would have maybe been
possibly right.
Like if this was Jason Kelsey still playing, maybe he's the Eagle that wins the award.
Mm-hmm.
What about someone on the Bears where you could just see? I mean, look at their odds for Coach of the Year, right? So if the market thinks they're Coach of the Year, he's going to be so well. Then wouldn't their offensive linemen also be involved? I mean, Braxton Jones, their left tackle, is 115-1. Darnell Wright, I feel like is probably a guy more people have heard of. He's 60-1.
He's the rookie. He's a second year guy too. So
Braxton Jones, I could see he's more of a run blocker. His win rate 4th in the league on that. So that's something going for him.
But I mean, it just could be one of those things of, hey, Bears offense is great. We got to reward the offensive line, right?
I have the winner though. If you guys actually want the winner of this thing here,
is it Andrew Thomas at 125 to 1? Because
not
Sean, I will have a ticket on that.
Yeah, that was a great ticket.
That would be a fun ticket.
Known as an elite left tackle on a team that's now a quarterback away.
Yep.
If that quarterback, which by the way, Russ is lighting up mini camp.
Now, I remember when I told you that number. We previewed this segment. You couldn't believe it.
I'm going to have a ridiculously large bet on a protector of the year.
If I would have gave you that for the speed bets, you would have been back in 30 seconds, back and forth. You would have set another
good reminder
record.
that I beat Kramer in speed bets. CJ 2-1. I win 66% of the speed bet.
I do have a question about that speed.
And I hold the world record.
Maybe I'll wait for the Friday Night VC
Allegedly,
show.
Yes.
We can take a deep dive.
You guys can chat about it.
Yeah, we can chat about it there. I was wondering how much information you got with the $10. If you would have done the $10 bill on your own, if that wasn't out there.
He wouldn't have.
Right. I think that. I mean, I can only imagine. I can't.
If I would have, I knew there's a $1,000 max at the kiosk.
See, in your mind, and I'm gonna go back and pull the tape of us agreeing it's $100 bet. You have no ethics, so you would have gone to the kiosk, and I tried to go to the window, but a man was being paid hundreds of thousands of dollars
in a duffel bag.
In a duffel bag.
What are you talking about? When in that segment did we say it has to be $100 bet?
I'm gonna go back to the previous speed betting. It was a speed betting rule.
What, these are commandments that we had in speed betting? We change the rules every time because CJ this time gave us an assignment.
I'm going to throw
no, that's not true. The previous two speed bettings were both $100 bets.
They were all $100 bets, right?
Yeah, sure. But where was that agreed to?
That's why I said I'll go back and I'll have to pull.
Oh, he said it always has to be $100.
No, that was like an assumed thing based on the previous times we did it.
Oh, so an assumed thing, but not a rule.
Again, I think when you play a game, there's generally assumed a fair practice, and that at that point we had done $100 bets only, so it was safe to assume that we were doing $100 bets.
Yeah, but then you can't do that at a kiosk at those odds.
That's why I went. That's why I went to the. Well, we never agreed it was a kiosk thing either. It was go down and place the bet.
But every other time it had been the kiosk.
Yeah.
What? So you can assume it is a kiosk bet, but not a.
No. I was, but I realized
you've walked into your own logic.
No, I haven't.
It was a kiosk bet every time. Why would you go to the counter?
Because the previous times I wasn't we weren't limited. The bets I was putting in were not limited by the kiosk limit.
Okay.
This time I wanted to do the honorable thing and get the $100 ticket. But there was a man being paid.
But then you didn't get.
Well, he was.
Well, why didn't you do the honorable thing then?
Because he was being. I had already lost.
Okay.
I knew at that moment when I waited for this man getting his duffel bag full.
Maybe we'll have you call in Friday night and you can explain yourself.
But I mean, it won't matter because Sean not good at admitting defeat. Or
what do you mean?
Well, that's what I mean. We're going to need you.
I wasn't.
Actually, would have been a good segment. I wish I kept that a surprise.
Admit defeat. I won speed betting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. I'm talking about just in general. If I do prove this to be something we agreed upon,
sure,
it won't matter.
Olive Branch. Let me give you out the Protector of the Year award winner.
What do you got?
What
CJ?
if I told you
Andrew Thomas?
What if I told you, and I like the Andrew Thomas ticket, I can give you a name tackle.
Okay.
Who is a top 10?
I know who you're talking about.
Lock win rate, absolute personality, and we'll have a head start on the entire league in the summer on the show Hard Knocks, as he will be profiled as one of the only personalities on his team. Deion Dawkins at 75 to 1.
Oh, interesting. So
for an elite offense on Buffalo, that'll probably, talk about getting to the Super Bowl. And an O-line, and Josh Allen makes you look good as an O-line. And he is an outgoing person. He's called what's he called? Mr. Snowman or something? He's got a nickname he's called the Snowman, for crying out loud.
He said a lot of hilarious shit.
He's a funny man.
That's a great pick.
Now wait, is he listed? Does Circa have him up there?
Yeah, 75 to 1.
Okay, I couldn't. Did
I screw up the copy paste?
I don't see. I don't see him on the. I don't see him on the.
No, you're right. He's not
on Kramer's spreadsheet.
You have John Runyon, for crying out loud.
I took the Circa ones. We have a number on. You're saying we have a number on it.
I got it from the Circa, Deion Dawkins. Yes, 75 to 1.
I'm gonna tail that, CJ. I love that.
Yeah, it's
great.
It's my favorite play. So pencil it in. Erase John Runyon.
Yeah, write it over.
Just write it over John Runyon.
I think it's supposed to be John. It's supposed.
I think that's got to be it, right?
Yeah, John Runyon.
He's on the Giants.
Yeah.
That's Deion Dawkins right there.
Well, John Runyon Jr. or whatever.
Right, of course.
Not the disgusting, hairy, backed guy who got whipped by Shanahan repeatedly.
Politician. He's a strong politician in the state of New Jersey.
I mean, let's be honest. the career did like Strahan had that one in the bag.
All right, so I'm with you, CJ. Deion Dawkins 75 to 1. And then I'm gonna do the 2 Eagles, the favorites, and Garrett Bowles at 45 to 1. Kramer, you're doing Joe Alt 50 to 1, which I think that totally makes sense.
Yeah, Joe Alt's a great one.
I'm also doing Andrew Thomas at 125 to 1.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That'll be a fun paper ticket.
I mean, we haven't talked about it, but do we even have the conversation about Taylor Decker, the other tackle that's not Penei Sewell, or is it just that Penei Sewell will win it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. Penei
Sewell is like a big name. He catches touchdowns.
Name.
He's such a huge favorite.
And I do not see a name on J.C. Latham, my new #1 tackle from Tennessee.
They don't even bother.
I would like to get a number on him. Here's a little fun anecdote I just learned after I prospected his card here.
But real quick, before we get off Decker,
sure.
The Mailata Lane Johnson comparison. They both have incredibly short prices on a really good offensive line.
Yep.
Mailata's the left tackle, which in my mind makes him the better option. Penei Sewell, the shortest price. On the other side of him, and the left tackle, Taylor Decker, is being priced at 90 to 1 on a great offensive line that would 100% be a story. And the reason this team is good, give me Taylor Decker at 90 to 1.
Yeah, I get it. I guess also it's like how much you factoring in the name recognition, what these odds are coming in.
And I'll tell you what I do like, right.
Maybe Penei Sewell gets banged up. Maybe he doesn't have, And
another little sprinkle in there. When you get on creative offenses too, with good offensive line, when you tackle eligible touchdowns, things like that make highlights that make you learn these things, like, he's kind of an athlete. Right. Exactly. I mean, that's how you kind of get the notes. Which brings me back to J.C. Latham. I don't know if
he's off is he on the board?
Yeah, he's off the board, but I'm sure we'll be able to get a number. I don't know if he had such good ball carrying skills. In week 10, we all remember last year, he scooped up a fumble 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
I remember this play.
Took it for a 4-yard gain and did it with such a smooth style that suggested he's run with the ball before. He got a creative coach in Callahan, who might want to start getting him in action on fumble rooskies and tackle eligibles.
I'd argue that was one of their best offensive plays last year.
I mean, he looked good. He might be getting the ball a lot.
All right, let me see if I got a J.C. Latham number for you.
Thank you.
And Ryan, also,
that'll round up my card.
Congratulations. The audience did agree with you in your take of
I don't have a Latham number.
Soccer being softer than the NBA. So congrats on that take.
That wasn't, you just said it back. See, even there, you're trying to not you're not actually admitting anything because you said you said it completely backwards.
What did I say?
Embarrassed yourself.
I said congratulations. The
audience agreed with you that soccer is softer than the NBA.
That NBA is softer than soccer. Congrats. Okay. CJ, soccer or NBA? What is softer?
I don't want to alert you, Sean, but a mutual friend of ours is very upset with your take.
Who?
And has been sending me screenshots of soccer injuries. He's a guy who loves Dutch soccer.
No, why wouldn't he?
He also loves basketball.
I'm not.
Why wouldn't he share? Why wouldn't Ryan share those 3 takes with me?
He's upset with you.
I won't choose a side between what's softer, soccer or basketball. But I will say this in soccer's defense, because I show the flopping, of course, and the flopping being so cinematic and so dramatic and hilarious. But I'll give soccer players credit for this. They're flopping, basically to win the game. If you get a penalty shot in soccer, the game is over. You're scoring the goal, and that's it. You win 1-0 or 2-1. It's dramatic. When basketball players are flopping, you're flopping for 2 free throws.
It's like a 1% of the score.
Out of 130 points.
It's a great angle, CJ.
I mean, like they're putting it on the line because they got a country back there who might kill them if they can't get a penalty shot goal, for crying out loud.
You
draw the foul.
If you want to have fun, there's some just find one of those threads that has like deadliest places to play soccer. See the moats that they have between the fans and the
Was
field.
it Colombia where they had or Brazil where they had the
flares they shoot at people?
Well, they beheaded a ref. Like they had to go to spike.
Colombia also killed a goalie.
Sure.
For letting in an own goal.
Certainly
the defender,
soccer fans in other countries are way more hardcore.
Well, I think that's playing the game. You have to be some level of toughness there. Imagine if NBA players could be killed after the game. Cat wouldn't be playing. Cat would be like, I'm going to the club. And all right. So any other offensive lineman we want to throw?
No,
out
it's just going to be a wild award.
Let me see, how many do I have?
Tunsil, another one I had kind of marked. Any interest?
I like Tunsil, but
he's already getting vet rest days, by the way.
Actually, put me down for Brian O'Neill, Minnesota, 50 to 1.
Whoa. All right, so that's another example. Darrisaw, the former Hokie, he's 36 to 1. O'Neill 50 to. Yeah. I definitely think there's some teams where you I guess you could pair it up. Colton Miller, another one I ticked. They're going to be a running attack, and if they're good, could the left tackle there get some shine?
Sure.
I almost would rather just play crazy GT props at that point.
So Kramer, you officially are on Joe Alt 50 to 1, Deion Dawkins 75 to 1, Taylor Decker 90 to 1, Andrew Thomas 125 to 1.
Yep.
I'm on Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson at 925 and 1350. Garrett Bowles 45 to 1, Deion Dawkins 75 to 1, CJ Brian O'Neill 50 to 1, Deion Dawkins 75 to 1, and Mike McGlinchey 200 to 1.
Oh my God.
I might put $10.
Why not? Brian O'Neill, real quickly, only rates behind Tristan Wirfs and Trent Williams for pass block win rate.
Yeah, unfortunately, his name's Brian O'Neill. Most people have never heard of him.
Right.
All right, gents. Good times as always. Make sure you subscribe to the Bottom Line Bombs with CJ Sullivan. CJ, real quick before we go, U.S. Open, one play for the
oh my
one
God.
play for the people on. Come on, give him one bomb on the way out.
Oh my goodness graciousness! One bomb on the way out. Well, oh boy, what did I'm trying to remember. Let me pull out the trapper keeper. I don't want to get this. I don't want to get this wrong.
You put him on the spot.
ASMR.
There you go. Oh, fans love that.
Jesus.
Because I don't have obviously.
That was very nice.
My card obviously doesn't have one player on there.
No,
yeah, I'm not Scott. I mean, because I want to give you a dog. Obviously, I want to give you a bomb. I'm not going to give you.
Please don't embarrass yourself.
I'm not going to give you John Rahm, who I do love. But we're looking at here.
Well, this is great. I feel like I'm at my accountant's right now.
A lot of shuffling of papers.
Shit, I don't have that form. Fuck. What? The 1099
shut out here. Hold on.
Wait,
now.
You need my hand pay form?
Have to go to the clipboard, possibly.
Oh, this is excellent.
Yep, here we are. Sorry
this
about that.
Is excellent.
All right, now we go. All right, one play only. 50 to 1. Sepp Strapka to win the U.S.
Oh yes, he's in my lineup, Sean.
Let's go.
He's in my lineup.
And one other quick one. Carlos Ortiz, who is 200 to 1. Make you serious sprinkle. 22 to 1 to win the rest of the world rankings of the nation. You have the nations, you have the European, Spanish, the rest of the world. There's a bunch of mops in this guy, Carlos Ortiz, at 22 to 1. He only has like 2 guys in competition to win that.
I do love when it just says best Asian.
Right. It's just the miscellaneous countries.
Yeah, also just some top Asian. It does sound like a reality show.
Yes,
America's Top Asian at the U.S. Open, and of course, as always,
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Sean, I got to do a money bag.
Okay.
After last night. Last night was so bad.
Yes.
Oh, hold on. Let me.
Kevin Harlan's gonna fill time while you pull that up.
Just get
Titans are going in the pouch of the trapper, by the way.
Wait, we still. How come he doesn't leave the screen? I don't understand.
Gus Chiggins,
Yeah,
he's always with us. All right, Ryan, 170 to 1, U.S. Open future.
Yeah, I got to do better than I did yesterday when I got Dustin Johnson.
MyBookie.ag.
I'm going medium. I'm going medium.
This is exciting.
And the wheel is about to spin.
All right, I've gotten 2 complete donkey picks so far. Let's go.
Let's go, randomizer.
It's Dominic the Donkey.
What was my hockey score that I got? Oh, who the fuck is
Richard
this?
Bland.
Richard Bland, famous British comedian.
Is this a
he
joke?
was in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I believe.
Dick Bland.
Kramer, all these guys are like 300.
Run that back. Run that back.
One more?
CJ pissed.
That might be the dentist.
Kramer might be out.
I might be. All right, we're going to do a small one, though, this time.
All right.
We're going to tempt.
Well, this is when you're going to get.
This is when you hit.
Yeah, this is when you hit Rory.
We're going to tempt. Fate. Oh, I don't even have enough in the account right now.
Wow.
This is horrible.
Yeah.
This is how
Do they have a
embarrassing.
minimum?
Let's do
There
it.
you go. Put $10 in there.
Oh, that's the last thing you want to do is hit it with $10. Trust me. You don't want a good golfer now. This is what you want, your Richard Blands.
This is a sign that I should stop the money bag.
You're gonna ship this one.
That's an electric
I know.
segment, though, right?
I'm gonna get this.
You're gonna ship this one.
Jose Luis Ballester Barrio.
Barrio.
All right, Ryan, you got a lot of
shout out to Guido. That's my I'm a one foreigner guy.
Three.
What a horrible.
Shannon reminding you need 3-0 Florida, Kramer. That'll get you out of your money back.
3-0. Yeah, that's gonna be. I got 3-0 in the hockey game.
Oh, nice.
Panthers 3, Oilers 0.
What are those odds?
What was it, like 33-1?
All right.
Yeah. Something.
I'm not rooting for it, but good luck to you.
No, of course.
Thank you for participating.
I didn't mean to
Sports
get it.
Gambling Podcast.
I didn't mean to get it.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second money green. He's Ryan.
Love it. See you tomorrow.
Kramer, let it ride.
I'm wet.
I'm dirty.